We're just going to First Amendment. We're still at the amendment stage. Floor is still open for amendments. And Senator Conrad Stewart.
Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body, executive officials, in the special session packet on part 12, it says contract interpretation. It doesn't reflect the language of the Workforce Protection Act. And so I guess we can do two things. Either replace it with the one that reflects it, or just add Workforce Protection Act as it's stated. In addition, the Pro Nation Workforce Protection Act shall apply to this agreement. And that's in part 12 of the 360 agreement, Mr. Speaker. That's under contract interpretation. I make that in the form of a motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Second by Carlson goes ahead. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? Motion carries. Still, floor is still open for amendments. Floor recognizes Carlson goes ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Secretary, members of the body, and executive officers and legal. Okay, at this time, I'm going to read the amendment. It's in section 2, and it's after the sentence of 360 Office Solutions, period. It says, a full accounting of the expenditures made pursuant to this resolution shall be immediately provided to the Finance Committee of the Legislature on or before the first day of the April 2014 quarterly session. The accounting shall include a full listing of all property and equipment which is purchased by the Pro Tribe with assigned tribal inventory. And, am I reading this right? A full accounting of the expenditures made, is that going to be, shall be immediately provided to the Finance Committee of the Legislature on or before the first day of the April 2014 quarterly session and thereafter? Well, we have to put that thereafter. Legal J? The accounting, I think there's a sentence that's just stopped. It just talks about that we're going to have this full expenditure, the way I'm reading it. Mr. Speaker.
Or you could say at the April 2014 quarterly session, during the reporting session. Maybe when Marlon does his report, you could submit that with it. Because they don't usually do the reports right on the first day, it's usually the second other day. Floor is
Okay, certainly, Senator Golden will speak for himself, but I thought his question was to reference subsequent quarterly sessions beyond April in the event that not all the expenditures are made prior to the April session.
Yeah, until the all purchase.
Right. Come first day of the April session, they may have $150,000 balance, for example. I think what Senator Gozen is saying, we don't want the accounting requirement to end at that point. We want it to keep going at every quarterly session thereafter. And then the honor before first day, that could be just in the course of providing reports, we could change the language so it's not due on the first day of the session. That would be a judgment call for the legislature.
I understand because it's to the Finance Committee, it's not to the full body. Lift it up. Is that the way you want to word it?
Yeah.
on that,
I think, and thereafter, after quarterly session, until it's paid in full, that's what I'm saying. Does it say that? I know that you explained it. Yes, in addition, yeah. I believe I'm in the middle of the amendment, so. The quarterly session, I'll read it again, on April 2014 quarterly session, comma, and thereafter, after each session. Is the amendment that the session, 2014 quarterly session, that period just turned into a comma, and thereafter each session. The applicant shall include a full listing of all property and equipment which is purchased by the Crow tribe with assigned tribal inventory numbers. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Need a second? Second by Bryce Hugs. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? All abstain? 15-0-0. Motion's carried with the amendment. Floor is still open for amendments. Okay, we move on to the second reading. Before we move on to the second reading, the floor recognizes the chairman of the executive branch to